It was January 19th, 2007 in Dekalb, Illinois. The weather that night was freezing. It was also snowing that night. Bradley Olsen, who was 27 at the time, decided to go out to Dekalb's bars and clubs. Dekalb, a city of 43,000 people, is located 65 miles west of Chicago. The city is probably best known as a college town because it is home to Northern Illinois University. Although Dekalb, Illinois is probably best known for Northern Illinois University, it is also home to many locals. It is home to many farms, and it's home to many manufacturing jobs. Now, on January 19th, Bradley decided to hit some of these local bars and clubs with his friends. Many of the clubs and bars cater to the college crowd, while other bars in Dekalb, Illinois cater to the locals. That night, Bradley decided to hit one of the local college bars. One of these bars was known as Bar 1. It's a popular nightclub that stayed open late into the night and early morning. Bar 1 was located near Lincoln Highway and Annie Glidden Road, and not too far from the highway. Bradley partied early into the morning, and the friends he went out with that night had left to go home earlier. At 2:25 a.m., Bradley was intoxicated and decided he wanted to go back home. At that time, he was living in Maple Park, a city about 9 miles west of DeKalb. Bradley did live with his parents, but they weren't home that night. They were on vacation and would not come back for some days. That night, Bradley made multiple calls to his friends to try to find a ride home, but he couldn't find one. Those phone calls made at 2:25 a.m. from Bar 1 in DeKalb, Illinois, would be the last time Bradley would contact anyone. On January 20th, 2007, in the 0-degree weather of DeKalb, Illinois, Bradley Olsen disappeared into the night. As stated earlier, Bradley's parents were out of town and did not return until January 24th. It was at that point that Bradley was reported missing. By January 24th, he had been missing for 4 days. But both his vehicles were at his parents', and his bank accounts were not touched since he disappeared. Bradley's parents did all they could to help with the investigation of their lost son. A $20,000 reward for information was quickly put into place, and once the weather became better, Bradley's father arranged helicopter flights to search for his son around Bar 1. The police also investigated into what happened around Bar 1. Bar 1 did have security cameras in the perimeter. When the sheriff was asked about what was on the videos, the sheriff, Chief Hickey, responded that he would not comment on what, if anything, was on those videos to aid the investigation. Now, Bar 1 had previously been in hot water for multiple violations regarding underage drinking, and according to an article in the Daily Chronicle, allegedly one of those incidences included an underage student who was allowed into the bar, and once Bar 1 was caught, Bar 1 allegedly asked that girl to return so they could create a false video of her being carded. Also, according to the article, Bar 1 was to close in April 2006. So why was it open in January 2007? Well, through the research I did, I was not able to get that answer. But I bring up these allegations against Bar 1 as to a reason the sheriff did not believe the videos would aid in his investigation. You can come to your own conclusion. But if there were cameras, it seems unusual they would not aid in the hunt for Bradley. These cameras would show, did he speak with anyone? Which direction was he going? Were the cameras even working? Or is there something else on that video? As I said earlier, DeKalb to Maple Park is about 9 miles. Did Bradley, in his intoxicated state of mind, decide to walk his way home and succumb to the cold? If this were true, then why was the body never found? Did Bradley hitchhike and end up with the wrong driver? Did Bradley fall into a body of water? There were diving teams that searched for him and nothing was found. Furthermore, the area that the divers searched were in the opposite direction Bradley would have walked to go home. So, it's unusual that the drivers would look in a pond, a man-made pond, for Bradley when it was in the opposite direction of his home. Some people believe he left on his own accord for a new life, but he had a daughter he cared for, and his parents had said he would always be in contact within 2 days. Also, his bank accounts were never touched. Bradley did have a criminal history dating back 10 years for various misdemeanors, and felony charges. This included assaulting a police officer, causing property damage, and illegal possession of a firearm. This does not mean it has anything to do with his disappearance, but some have theorized that maybe he ran into some people he angered in the past. Bradley's parents believe he came into harm and did not run away. In 2010, Bradley was declared legally dead. If you know anything on what may have happened to Bradley Olsen on January 20th, 2007, please contact the Dekalb Police Department at 815-748-8400. Thank you.